places to go here. Let me start with that fourth quarter, because I've asked some of these guys just to describe it. Once Klay goes down, it felt like a bar fight, and I didn't know how Golden State was going to compete, and yet they did. I'm not surprised that they did, but had they figured out how to win, I don't know how they could have played 48 more minutes. It felt like they were done. Did it feel like that to you?
Yeah, I mean, had the Warriors pulled this game out, what I would have said to you is they didn't win a championship, and they're not going to be recognized as it, but it's something more than just a conference title, because being able to force a Game 7 under those circumstances is heroic as almost winning. But they didn't win, and it was close, but they didn't win, and ultimately they just didn't have enough. And you could point to a lot of different things, but it's just misfortune. And I got to say, the surreal situation, Scott, I'm going to remember a lot of things from this finals, but the surreal situation of one day seeing Kevin Durant limping off on crutches, the team doctors looking, ashen, with no color in their face, walking with him, Bob Myers walking with him, his agent walking behind him. And then 3 days later, Klay Thompson, same situation. Another Hall of Famer, future player, champion, limping off on crutches, with the doctors looking like somebody just punched him in the stomach, with the general manager looking, peaked, with his agent walking behind him with his head down. Those two images, I just can't believe that they both happened to Hall of Fame players within a few days period. It's as amazing that this Warriors team got put together. All of the circumstances and things that fell into place was the incredible set of circumstances that led to those two scenes. And it's truly a remarkable story. And I know it hurts right now, but it'll be so memorable because of how that happened.
Brian, think tweet here. Your answer needs to be, your characters are limited because we're going to have to get to a break. I say, it felt like there was just no possible way they could send Klay out there no matter what he wanted, given what happened to Durant. Was that the sense you had from their doctors?
Until we know the nature of the injury, I don't even think we can assume that. It could have been a severe enough injury where none of that mattered.
And that's entirely reasonable. That's why it's reckless to speculate. Brian, if this is it, man, thank you. It's been fun as always to talk. Until we do again, be well, enjoy your summer, all right?
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it.
Indeed. That's Brian Windhorst with us on SportsCenter. We will continue. We're with you till 1:30 Eastern Time. More looks from Toronto. St. Louis celebrated last night. Toronto, it's your turn. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. From Akron Wingfoots to today, Goodyear, more driven.
I mean, a lot of different emotions, a lot of thoughts. No regrets at all about, again, what we've been able to accomplish and even how this series ended. So we've had a lot of great memories in this building. I think it's iconic in the sense of our entire history of this organization and how we got to this point. And, whenever I drive by it, I'll have great memories of, again, what we've been able to accomplish in this building. And as we move across the bridge, want to be able to continue that and create new memories. So hopefully, every fan that was in this building appreciates the journey and the ride. Every fan that was watching how Oakland held us down for 47 years. And turn the page to bigger and better things coming for this franchise.
Tim Legler alongside, as he has been throughout this playoff run, as you and I are sitting here talking about, really a game that's amazing. I mean, I keep going back to the level of play before Klay went down. It's as high as it could possibly be. Golden State, you were just talking to me about this. They missed 9 free throws. They have 16 turnovers. And they still, after Klay goes down, get a look late for Steph and a pretty clean look for a great shooter. I'm amazed that they even got to that point. Do you share that same thought?
Oh, completely. And I think I look at this game and I think we're going to remember, that the Raptors definitely outplayed them. I'll reiterate that. 288 minutes played in this series. I don't know what the number is, but they outplayed them thoroughly. Far more clean minutes on a part of the Raptors than Golden State.
Totally agree.
Right? No question.
Totally agree.
Yet, despite that, when I'm just looking at, the way my mind works,
right,
analyzing a game, I look at this game and, you get a clean look from the greatest shooter that's ever lived to potentially force a Game 7. They missed, we said 9 free throws. I think 7 of those were in the second half. I remember 2 0 for 2s, 2 splits, the offensive rebounds they gave up late. They had some really bad, careless, sloppy turnovers. So there are so many things that they could have done differently and cleaned up.
Right.
And maybe you're not even relying on a Steph Curry 3 at the end of the game.
Sure.
Because you're in a better position in that, and we're playing on Sunday. But with what are they playing on Sunday?
Yeah,
right?
had they gotten 48 more minutes, I don't know what they would have done. I don't know who they would have gone into battle with. But as we're talking, we're seeing the examples of one of the key points I know you felt was just the bullying on that offensive glass.
Too big, bullied them, threw them around, too many bodies. Siakam, Gasol, Ibaka, Kawhi, who rebounds like a grown man on the offensive glass. It was just too much. I mean, Golden State plays small lineups as it is, but when you're that depleted, some of those guys that are typically out there for your smaller lineups, pretty good rebounders. Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant. So you don't even have those guys. It's really a miracle if you think about what they dealt with, that it came down to that in a Game 6 to have a chance to play for all of it in a one-game winner-take-all on Sunday. If that ball goes in, it's just incredible.
And this is incredible as well. Steph Curry now 0 for 8 in his career in the final 20 seconds of a playoff game on potential go-ahead shots, and he got a good look, and it goes begging. Kawhi, who we just spoke to, an MVP again, and if you just think back, and it was interesting hearing him say that Orlando series felt like it was a year ago, because it does. You think back and think to what he displayed from that to now. What is this guy as a player?
Man, well, not only that, Scott, think about where he was in terms of public perception with what went down in San Antonio, right? I mean, he went from the low point to this a year later, and you got to give the Toronto Raptors credit because, look, to me, they didn't have a choice. Like, it made sense for a team. If you're ever going to go all in on 1 year, if you're renting a guy, this was the time, this was the guy. 59-win team, you're going to try to stay on top. This is the trade you're going to make. And so DeMar DeRozan, great player, perennial all-star, professional scorer. Kawhi is just a different level, right? And you can also say the same thing, honestly, about a guy like Marc Gasol. It's just a step up from Valanciunas, right? They made that move as well. It's just all those little things just got him to another place. And you can't say enough about what the experience, the big game experience that Kawhi Leonard has that he brought to this team. And getting through those games as a winner, that means an awful lot in that locker room.
And you were on Pascal early. He's 26 in this game, and Van Vliet goes for 22. As a guy that was a 10-day contract guy back in the day, is there a special place in your heart for a dude that didn't get drafted and has been putting bet on yourself on his shirt?
You know that, man. I mean,
just teeing it up
fighting through that in the beginning of my career, and
yep.
Playing in the CBA and playing in Europe and playing on 10 days when you're shooting a ball like you got a refrigerator on your back because you got to make the next one or you're not going to see the next 10 days. Fighting through all of those things. At one point, strongly considering, like 2-3 years out of college, like, hey, man, I had some pretty good things going on in the white-collar world. Maybe I should just go do that. I had a lot of pressure from other people in my life telling me that's what I should be doing. Yep. I love the game too much. I had too much belief in myself. You talked about it all the time, the bet on yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, who will? That was always my mentality. You're going to have to kill me to stop me. And I end up getting, a 10-year career that I'm very proud of, and then been here with you for the last 18. So I'm pretty proud of that, too.
Yeah, and let me reach over and just say thank you. There's nobody better at making us smarter in 2-minute, 3-minute, 4-minute increments than you are. I believe the Jersey Shore is calling.
It is. And last thing I want to say to you because this means a lot to both of us. Yep. We don't have our dads to celebrate on Sunday.
Yep.
But if there's one good thing about the series end tonight, I will be with my kids on Sunday.
Right on.
For Father's Day. They were prepared to do something different without me.
Understood.
But I know how much yours mean to you, so happy Father's Day to you. And you'll see me a couple more times, I think, during free agency or something.
Or the draft or something. But just this ends this run, and I appreciate the time.
Had a blast as always, man.
You're the best.
Thanks,
Tim Legler. All right, coming up.